Donald Trump, now serving his second term as the President of the United States, has taken a drastic step that could change the future of immigration in America. On January 28, 2025, he signed an executive order that aims to end birthright citizenship, a policy that has existed for over 150 years. Now, this move has created a wave of concern, specifically among Indian immigrants in the United States, as it directly affects children born to Indian parents who are on temporary work visa, like the H-1B, or are stuck in the green card backlog. If this policy is implemented, these children will no longer automatically receive US citizenship, which has been a major factor in the immigration journey for many Indian families. First, let me explain what exactly is birthright citizenship. Well, it is a policy derived from the 14th Amendment to the US Constitution, which was enacted back in 1868. It states that anybody born on US soil is automatically granted American citizenship regardless of their parents' immigration status. Now, this law was originally introduced to ensure that former slaves and their descendants would have full citizenship right after the Civil War. Over the years, it has also helped millions of immigrant families, including Indians, secure a future for their children in the US. The relevant portion of the 14th Amendment reads, "All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside." Now, because of this law, children born in the US to Indian parents, whether they are on student visa, H-1B visa, green card, or even undocumented, have been able to become the US citizen by birth. This has provided them with several advantages, including access to government benefits, ease of education, and the ability to sponsor their parents to the US residency once they turn 21. Trump's executive order aims to change this whole system by stating that only children born to at least one US citizen, green card holder, or military personnel will be granted automatic citizenship. This means that children of Indian immigrants on temporary visa will no longer qualify. Trump has justified this particular move as part of his broader effort to reduce illegal immigration and stop birth tourism, a practice where foreign nationals travel to the US to give birth to their children so that they can claim American citizenship. However, this order affects not just those engaging in birth tourism, but also thousands of hardworking Indian families who are in the US legally, contributing to the economy and waiting for their green card. Now, here's a question for you. Will this executive order hold up in court? Well, the bigger challenge to Trump's executive order is that birthright citizenship is part of US Constitution, and changing the Constitution is an extremely difficult process. Normally, a constitutional amendment requires a supermajority in Congress and approval from 2/3 of the US states. No president has ever successfully changed birthright citizenship through an executive order, and legal experts believe that Trump's move will be challenged in the court. Back in 1898, the US Supreme Court ruled in the United States versus Wong Kim Ark that a child born in the US to non-citizen parent is still a US citizen. Now, this precedent makes it likely that Trump's order will face serious legal hurdle. Lawsuits have already been filed, and it could take years to become a final decision by the Supreme Court. In the meantime, uncertainty looms over thousands of Indian American families who are now unsure about their children's future. Indian Americans are one of the fastest growing immigrant community in the US, with over 4.8 million people of Indian origin living in the country. Many of them are on work visa like H-1B, student visa, or waiting in green card backlog. Now, this policy change could have severe consequences for them, specifically those who are relying on birthright citizenship, as it means to secure their children's future in the US. Indian parents who are on temporary work visa have long depended on birthright citizenship to ensure their children have a secure legal status in the US. Now, if this order takes effect, their children will no longer be considered American citizens at birth. Instead, they would have to apply for a dependent visa or another legal status, making their future exceptionally uncertain. Indian immigrants already face a massive backlog in the US green card system, we already know. Many H-1B visa holders wait for decades to receive permanent residency. Currently, children born to Indian parents in the US do not have to worry about the backlog because they automatically receive the citizenship. However, without birthright citizenship, these children will have to go through the same long immigration process, adding even more stress and uncertainty to their future. Now, one major benefit of birthright citizenship is that the US-born children can sponsor their parents for green card once they turn 21. This has been a significant pathway for Indian families to stay together in the US. Now, if birthright citizenship is removed, many Indian families will struggle to reunite as the process to obtain legal residency will become much more harder. Indian families living in the US on temporary visa or awaiting green card might face new challenges if their legal status changes. If parents are unable to secure green card or work visa, they will have to be forced to leave the country while their children remain in the US under different legal circumstances. This could lead to heartbreaking situation where families are forced to live apart. Many Indian families who were planning to settle permanently in the US have relied on their US-born children, as it means to gain stability in their immigration process. The removal of birthright citizenship could force many Indian parents to reconsider their plan and look for alternative way to secure permanent residency. Indian students are one of the largest group of international students in the US, specifically in STEM field. Many Indian students who study in the US on F1 visa eventually settle down, start their family and rely on birthright citizenship for their children's legal security. If this policy is implemented, I repeat again, their children will no longer automatically become US citizens, making their long-term stay in America more complicated. Similarly, birth tourism, where some Indian families travel to the US specifically for childbirth, will come to an end. While this practice is not as common among Indians as other communities, it will still impact those who have planned to take advantage of the policy. So in short, the future of Indian immigrant families is uncertain. Trump's executive order has created widespread panic and confusion among Indian immigrants in the US. Families who were previously certain that their children would be US citizens by birth are now left questioning their future. This move will likely intense legal battle, but in the meantime, Indian families in the US will have to prepare for possible shift in immigration policy. For many Indian immigrants, the US represents land of opportunity, better education, and secure future for their children. However, with Trump's push to end birthright citizenship, many are now left wondering whether they should continue their journey in America or start looking for other options, such as Canada, Australia, or returning back to India. The uncertainty surrounding this policy is a stark reminder that immigration rules in the US are always subject to change, and those hoping to settle in America must always be prepared for unexpected legal and political shifts.